If you missed parts 1 through 3 of our cabinet build series, be sure to check the description for links to each of those parts. In part 4, we're going to be building the glass panel doors for our upper cabinets. Because we're making a glass front door for our upper cabinets, we're using the Infinity 3-piece Ultimate Glass Door Making Router Bit Set. This set includes 3 different bits that allows you to make the rail or cope cut, the style cut, and also save the portion that creates the rabbet for the glass as a glass stop, giving you the option to use that small piece that traditionally would simply be routed away. Sizing, milling, and gluing up glass panel door frames is exactly the same as for a raised panel door, except for the fact that there's no panel installed into the frame during glue up. To ensure that my frame comes out nice and flat and square without any twist, I do my glue up on a nice flat surface like my workbench, and I use parallel jaw style clamps. Our doors are glued up ready to be installed on the cabinets. To do this, we're using a European style hinge specifically designed to work with face frames. To install the hinge on our doors, we're using the Kreg concealed hinge jig. And because we're using a profile on the edge of our doors, we added a 1/2-inch washer from our parts bin as a spacer between the jig and the stop collar to reduce the depth of the pocket for our hinge. This may or may not be necessary in your application, but we wanted to point it out. The final step needed to finish off my cabinet doors is to mill the door pole profile in the edges. This acts as a decorative detail to match my drawer fronts and also makes it very easy to open and close the doors without the need for additional hardware. I make sure I mill this profile into the edges of my doors after I drill for my hinges so that my concealed hinge jig has a nice square edge to locate off of, and the hinge location is very accurate on all my doors. Because we use the Kreg concealed hinge jig, installing the hinges onto the doors is very easy. It's a matter of dropping the hinge in place and installing a pair of screws into the pre-drilled pilot holes. The final step of assembling our upper cabinet doors is to install our glass, or in our case, because we're building shop cabinets, plexiglass. This plexiglass still has the protective coating on it. I'm not ready to remove it because I still need to finish my doors. But you can see it's been cut to size. It drops into my frame very nicely. And because we use the Infinity 3-piece Ultimate Glass Door Making Set, we have a glass stop already made. The rails are the perfect length because they were made from our rails, and the long strips, which are made from the stiles, are the full length of the stile itself, so they are ready to be mitered and trimmed to final length so that they can be dropped into the frame and either secured with some glue or a couple of brads. Now you'll notice that because our plexiglass is a little bit thicker than the slot or the material that's been removed from the glass stop, it's going to stand a little bit proud of the surrounding frame. You can either trim this down before installation, or you can install the glass stop and then come back with either a hand plane or even a sander and just bring it flush with the surrounding frame. Installing our cabinet door is as simple as setting it on a temporary cleat to get the proper height, using a pencil to mark the location of our 2 screws through the hinge, then we can drill a couple of pilot holes. and mount our door. We've made a plywood shelf with a hardwood edge, and we're ready to install our shelf pins. Put our shelf in place, and our cabinet's complete. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss part 5 of our video series where we wrap up this project by spraying our finish, installing our doors and drawers in our cabinet boxes, and finish up our final install. Be sure to check the description below for a link to our blog where you can find more great information on this project as well as all the others that we work on here in the Infinity Tool shop. Also, check us out on Facebook and Instagram.